Hello again. Welcome to Jack's Backyard. If you're returning to my channel, thank you for coming back. If you're new here, my name is Jackie Doyle. I live in Yandina on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, and I am passionate about buying your food as close to the producer as you can, wasting as little food as possible, and growing a little bit yourself, and doing it from a place of joy. There is no fear mongering here. So today, what I thought I would do, we go to the Yandina Markets. It's a great farmers market. We go to the Yandina Markets every week to buy our fresh fruit and vegetables. As life happens, some weekends we don't get there, and so sometimes we do have to go to the supermarkets to buy our fresh food. We obviously still go to the supermarket to get our dry food, but we try as hard as possible to go to the Yandina Markets. Now, here's the thing about markets is sometimes they are farmers that are taking their crops and their next door neighbours' crops and things like that to sell. But most of the time they are buying from, in our case, they're going to the Brisbane markets and they're buying food from there. The difference, I think, is the thing I have found is that one of the main stores that stalls we go to when we go to Yandina, they buy a lot of seconds. Now, seconds are really important because the food that you buy at the supermarket, it's very perfect looking. Does it mean it tastes any better? I don't believe so. And it means that there's a whole lot of food that the supermarkets say, no, that's not good enough for us. That often goes to waste. So I get really excited when I see really, really small sweet potatoes or really massive. Today, there was this whole box full of like massive sweet potatoes. They were huge. And it's just such a good way for those to be used up. Now, again, one of the stalls that we go to, they do try very hard to buy a lot of their goods direct from the producer. That's very important to me. They do still source some of their stuff, which, for whatever reason isn't grown locally or isn't grown locally at this time of year. They source from the Brisbane markets. So being aware of what's in season now, what's in season in your area, is really important to shopping mindfully. So today I just wanted to run through just a couple of things that I got from the markets today that I'll be using, and just some of the dialogue that kind of went around that as well. So first of all, I got these plums. Now, these plums were, I think it was 10 for $2. As it turns out, they were probably no less expensive than some of the others that were floating around. But all of the ones that were at the markets today, they were very clearly seconds. They're at the end of their season, and there are a few here that would be okay to eat as they are, but a lot of them will actually be going into things. So I'm going to make stewed plums. I found a pickled plum recipe. Actually, I've got the book here. This is a great book if you're wanting to use up a lot of the food in your kitchen. The Food Savers A to Z by Elliott-Howery and Jaimee Edwards. I would highly recommend. I got it from Big W, and she's got another couple of books that I'd like to get hold of as well. But I either go to books like that or I go on the internet to find stuff. I'm not a cooking expert. I'm not an experienced cook. I actually do a lot of the background stuff, like using stuff like this. My husband actually does a lot of the meal cooking, but I really love doing this kind of stuff to add into our meals. I do all our stocks, all our bread, all that sort of thing. So yeah, I got those plums, which are lovely. Now, the other thing, so the Sunshine Coast, we have a lot of pineapples. You may have heard we had a pineapple glut in Queensland in January, and we actually had quite a lot of pineapples. I've also got these couple of fairly sad looking, the reason that I got those pineapples is because I have these very sad looking pineapples that were in my fridge that really needed using up, and I actually wasn't sure how much I would get off them, so I thought, well, I'll get a couple of extras just to kind of supplement, and I'm actually planning on canning these. I remember when I was a kid, I lived on stations in North Queensland, and one of the we didn't get a lot of fruit other than apples and oranges because they're very hardy. They can obviously take a fair bit of travel. And so one of the few tinned fruits that we got were pineapples. We also got tinned pears, obviously, but yeah, tinned pineapples. So I thought I'd make some of those. I haven't made it before, so I just thought I'd give it a crack. So these were I did actually buy these from a pineapple farmer. I've bought his pineapples before. He's local to the Yandina area, and he has quite a small stall with sort of bits and pieces of things that he obviously grows at home. They do a lot of sort of little preserves and stuff like that. So they probably weren't the cheapest pineapples there, but they were certainly the nicest looking. And as I say, I really do like to buy from the producer when I can. Hi, this is Editing Jackie. So I suddenly realised that I hadn't actually segued from talking about what I'd gotten from the market into using the plums for a stewed plum recipe. So that's what I'll be showing you now. Okay, so basically we need the plums, we need the zest and juice of an orange, we need some honey, and we need some butter, which I've left inside for now because I live in the subtropics. So, and I'm going to use this pot. And then we're just going to cut them in half. Look at that, they're very lovely. Okay, look at those. They're just beautiful. Now we'll zest and juice the orange and put in the honey and the butter. Now, a note about butter. If you don't think that butter should have its own food group, you possibly can't be friends. So don't be surprised at how much butter I put in. Okay, so I've ended up actually keeping more plums than I expected because they are absolutely beautiful. So first of all, I will zest. Now, this orange, it's been in my crisper for a good few weeks. So this recipe is doing me a few favours. So that now goes on a low to medium heat until they're stewed. I have no idea how long that will be. So I will tell you at the end when I show you the finished product. So these are the finished product of the stewed plums. They've come up really well. In the future, I would probably use brown sugar. The recipe actually had choices. You could use, maple syrup or honey or brown sugar. I would probably use brown sugar in the future. There's just a bit of a taste that comes through. I didn't put a lot of honey in, but and I probably wouldn't put in as much butter as I did this time. Probably doesn't need that much. Please do comment below what your thoughts are around using up the seconds from things like that, where you get your fruit and veg from, and any recipes that you have for stuff that's, probably seen better days, but still deserves to be used up. I'd love to hear all about it. Thanks very much for hanging out with me. We'll see you in the next one.